Hi, I'm going to show you how to make a simple HTML and PHP contact form for your website. Now, this is not going to get into something like it's not going to have spam support or it's not going to have any validation because I just want to show you a basic way of how to use HTML to create a contact form. In later episodes, I'm going to include how to style it and also include validation. And before I go any further, make sure if you're following this tutorial, stop at any time and take the code and implement it into your editor that you're using. You don't want to be sitting there and being a passive learner or else you won't learn anything. So let's get started. Here's my HTML document and I have created an h1 tag to show that it's my contact form, and it currently looks like this contact form. So what we're going to do to initiate the form, we need to use the form tag. Now the form tag has an element or a property called action. Now basically what this is saying is that where do I want to send the information of the contact form. So I'm going to create a file later on, but right now let's name it thank you .php. And the method I'm going to use is post. Post is much more secure than get. It sends it to the URL. I won't get into it right now. So in the form element, I just want to keep it very simple. So we're going to use first name, or let's stick to name. And I want the email, and I want a message, or what message that they're sending, not message. Sorry about that typo. So to get this information, we're going to need to use the HTML element of input tags. Input tags is where you actually insert the information. So we'll put input, and the type is going to be text. The name is, for this purpose, let's just use full name, not full D name. Sorry, my fingers are all over the place. Basically, this states that the information is going to be stored inside an input tag called full name. And for the email, we're going to use the same HTML element called input, type text, name is, this time we're going to name this input email because we need their email. And in this one, we're not going to use the input tag. Well, I'll show you. We'll use the input tag, and I'll put type text name message. And let's see what happens. So you get your name, you get your email at xyz.com, and here's your message. However, you always want the message to be longer. You want them to have the ability to write you, I mean, not an essay, but let's hope they are more than 200 to 500 words. So you want to give them the option in the area so they don't feel constricted to only writing a sentence that might not get their the message across. So for this purpose, we'll use the HTML element called text area. Excuse me. Text area is much larger area to provide the user space to insert the information that they want to get across. So we'll use text area, and we'll give it the name message, and it'll come with a closed tag. I want to make sure you have that for a text area. For the input, so you don't require it. For the text area, you do. And now let's see what happens. So you see that the message input box, or the message box, is much larger, and in my Chrome I can resize it to whichever size I want. And also you can also resize it in here by using columns. If I want 30 columns, it'll make it longer. And I also believe there's rows, so if you make it 20 rows, there you go, it's too long, so we'll make it 10. I like 10. 10 is not bad. However, it's not as good as I want it because I want them not next to each other. So I'm going to use the BR tag, or the line break to make sure they're in a hierarchy structure. So name, email, message. Now, how are we going to submit this form? We can't do anything with it right now. There's no button to submit it. So we need another input element, which is actually called, the type is submit. It's an actual submit button to send the information. It's not text as is shown here, but it's just submit. The value we want to is going to be the name that's going to appear on the submit box, or the submit button. So it's a submit, not some T. Sorry, my fingers are all out of whack today. So you see it over there. Now I want this to come underneath, so I'll use a line break after the text area. Again, this styling the form, I'll do it in the later episodes. Right now I'm just going to show you the basics of the HTML form. So now we have this in place, but when we submit it, it goes to thankyou.php up here. You'll notice thankyou.php, but it can't be found. Uh-oh, because we didn't create it. So go in your editor and create a file. I'm just going to do that over here, called thankyou.php. And now if you refresh it, it'll be a blank page, and it should be a blank page because I don't have anything right now. So now we're going to do a little bit of PHP to get the information from the form. So what contact.php does is basically takes the information of name, email, message, and sends that information to thankyou.php. Now thankyou.php's job should be to retrieve the information, process the information, and email the information. So I'm using these backslashes just to do as a comment to keep myself organized and to understand. So let's get the information first. PHP tags are started with the greater than sign and a question mark, and closed in the same way. Here's the opening PHP, here's the closing PHP. Now, to get the information from the contact form, we're going to be using the method called post. Now, that's the method that we are sending the information from, and it's the same way how we retrieve it. So let's set the variable name, and here is the PHP command of getting that information called full name. Now this variable name could be anything. I just chose it because it's easier for organization. And as I was mentioning before, in contact.php we're sending the information using the post method, and that's how we retrieve it. So post carries the information, and inside the post, which is an array, we want to retrieve the full name input box, and that's how we get the information. So full name. For email, it'd be the same. We're just going to do email. Call this email, and for the message, it's going to be the same. One thing I overlooked, I didn't mention before, is every variable in PHP starts with a $sign, and you want to set it to using an equal sign. So basically what this thing is, the variable name equals to the post variable full name, which is the input basically that gets the full name from the form. So now we've received this information. As a test, let's see if we've gotten the information. We'll use the echo function of PHP to echo the name, the email, and the message. Let's see what happens. So I'll put in my name, and I'll put xyz at xyz.com. Here is the message, and when I submit, you can see it comes up here. So here's my name, There's the email, xyz@xyz.com, and here is the message. I didn't give it any spacing, so hence you see everything together jumbled up. So we know that it's receiving the information from contact form. But we're not done yet because we have to email this form. Now that we've gotten the information from contact form, what we want to do now is to send this information to us. So we're going to use the PHP mail function, which is divided into string2, which is who the email should be going to, the subject of the email, and the message of the email. So in this string 2, in the first place, you should put your email. So I'm just going to put your email at yourpost.com. The subject of the email should be new inquiry. And the last but not least should be the message of the email. Now this will work as a charm, but you won't know who sent you the email because we haven't put that in there. We're only sending the message. We're not sending their full name or their email. So what we want to do now is create an email message. As you can see here, email message. That will have all of that information. So let's do, inside these quotations will be the message that goes in your email. And we will have contain the name, email, and message. So we want their name, their email, and their message. Now we need to use the variables that we declared up here inside the email message. So we do this by closing the quotation, put a decimal to attach the variable, put a decimal after the variable, and open quotation. Now this opens up 2 quotations for me, so make sure you get rid of one. So it's one continuous flow. We basically want to add the variable in. We can do it without quotations, but sometimes it doesn't work for all emails. That's what I've had in my experience. So we'll go ahead and do the same with email, and we'll do the same with the message. Now, this, as it is right now, will still not send the information, because if you've been paying attention, I hope you are, we have to make a change over here. Right now it just says message variable. We need it to say email message, so it contains all the information. And after that is done, you can redirect it to a success page. Header, location, email, success.php. And what this basically is doing is that once the email has submitted over here using the mail function, it'll redirect you to email success. So we'll create a new file called email success.php, and I'm just going to copy over the HTML from here and paste it and just get rid of the form. Just call it email sent. We'll just put a little message saying, yippee, your email has been sent. Now let's give this a go. So right now this is from our last time, what we did and how the message came up. If I just hit go back to contact.php, I'll refresh this page, I'll put my name in again, XYZ, here is the big message, I'll submit it, and it takes me straight to emailsuccess.php. Email has been sent. I would love any feedback and any comments that you have. If you want me to make another video about anything that you're interested about, I would love to do so. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.